Go. It says go right in the middle of my screen. I've got the word go, so I'm going. Okay, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, and we are live with The Spirit World Sees All. Are you all ready for me this morning? Do we have anybody yet, Chris? It's a bit early because we're directly on time for our 11 o'clock show.
I'm not seeing anyone logged in yet.
Okay, so we're talking to ourselves then. Okay.
Here they come. They're coming on now.
So, good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Gregor, who, as always, is standing to my right side. And then, gosh, excuse me. Then, of course, we're going to say good morning to Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, everyone.
So do we have some people here already, Chris?
We do.
Good. Okay, then. So, all right. So, as we all know, the spirit world sees all. And if that's the case, and I believe that it is, if that's the case, then whatever it is we do during any part of any day, whatever it is we say during any part of any day, they will see and they will hear. Now, that's a bit scary, isn't it? When I first realized how much the spirit world could see, how much they could see when they were watching us, I started using bubble bath in my bath water. Now, many of you have heard me say that before, but it is very, very true. Not that they are at all, they being those in the spirit world, not that they are at all interested in seeing me take a bath or shower. It just made me feel a little bit better. I didn't feel quite so exposed. But when you start to think about the spirit world and that they are paying attention to us, that they are often with us, that can be a bit scary because we're not always on our best behavior, are we? Especially when we think we're on our own, or especially when we think, oh, it's only family. I remember standing with a friend of mine. We'd gone to visit another friend whose car we were going to ride in to go up to Montpelier that's in Vermont, way up there in Vermont. And we're standing outside the car waiting for this friend to come out of her house so that we could all climb into the car. And the friend that I was with started to be a bit mean about the car and about how dirty it was and about how dirty it was inside and how untidy it was inside and how she wasn't looking forward to riding in the car and so on and so forth. To which point I actually eventually, when I got tired of listening to this little bit of meanness, really, I said to her, you shouldn't really be that mean. She's offered to take us. This is going to be a great trip, and let's just go from there. And her words right back to me were, well, it's only the two of us, nobody else can hear us. Was she ever wrong? I don't remember whether I pointed that out to her or not. Probably not, because if somebody's thinking that way and they're going to be mean in that way, there's not really a great deal of point in pointing out what to me is the obvious. It's a bit disheartening for us because we're all human and we all can have those moments of meanness and those moments where we're maybe not as nice as we would like to be. We all have those moments when we're tempted to kick the dog. Not that I ever kicked my animals, but you know what I mean, just, metaphorically speaking. Those moments when we kick the dog or throw out the cat or we haul the kids out and start yelling and screaming at the kids because we're tired or we're exhausted, or how many times have we told him this and this and so on, or how many times have we said to our daughter that and that, and now you sort of have lost patience. And when you're in your own family environment and you're comfortable in your own family environment, there's a tendency to really just let loose a little bit, not necessarily on your best behavior at all times, because after all, you are at home, so why bother? Why does it matter anyway? And after all, we think to ourselves, if we think about it at all, nobody can hear us. When the doorbell goes, of course, and we open the door and we put on that smiling face as if we've not been screaming and yelling at the dog or the cat or whatever, we put on that face and we put on that smile, and the person who we open the door to sees that about us. We don't realize that there have been people in the house all the time, all along, people who have been watching us, people who have been listening to us, often listening to our tirade. And most of all, and for me, it was a little bit of a shock when I first realized how much the spirit world could see and who in the spirit world could see. So it's not just our families who understand us, who understand all of that stuff, but our angels are often watching us. And it occurred to me years and years ago, what must they, our angels, what must they think of us when we set off on our little, temper tantrums or whatever else it is that we do. And some of us, of course, are much worse than others. The thing that I've noticed about our angels is that when I look at them, and when I have been on my own little tirade, because I'm not a perfect person, when I've been on my own little tirade, or I've said something that I know is mean and I shouldn't have said, or when I say something that is not nice, even if I'm only saying it to myself, even if I'm by myself and muttering to myself or being mean about someone or complaining about a situation, and I'll suddenly look up and there is one of my angels just sort of looking at me. The thing that intrigues me the most is I have never ever seen anything close to judgment. I've never experienced anything close to judgment or anything other than disappointment. And so when I look at my angels when I'm not behaving myself very well, I will see the sadness in their eyes, the disappointment in their eyes, the disappointment for me, because they know perfectly well that I can do better, that I can be better. So it's tough when we think that the spirit world sees all, because I think it's impossible to be on our best behavior all the time. But what it does for me is it certainly reminds me that I'd better be a bit nicer, I better be a bit kinder, and that's what I want to be anyway. It's not that I'm doing it just because somebody's looking at me. I'm not doing it just because someone in the spirit world sees. I'm doing it because I want to be a nicer person. I want to be a kinder person. I want to be a more fun person. But again, as with all of us, all of us have our moments where we disappoint our loved ones in the spirit world because we're maybe not being as nice as we could be, disappointing our angels because we're not being as nice as we could be. So keeping that in mind, striving to do better, I think is always something that we should strive to do. Excuse me. That said, when we talk about the spirit world sees all, we are talking not just about our loved ones in the spirit world. We're talking about our angels in the spirit world. We're talking about those entities, those special, remarkable and incredible entities. Great Eagle. Boy, do I sometimes see disappointment on his face. Like, I'm sort of half looking at him out of the corner of my eye here, and but I never ever felt harsh judgments on what I'm doing, and in fact, I've never actually had anyone in the spirit world say to me, I don't think that was very nice of you to say that, Rosemary, or to do that. They just look at me and I know, and I say it to myself. Then I say to myself, whoops, that wasn't very nice of me to do that. So even though they are watching us, even though they're paying attention to us, and even though very often they're trying to guide and steer us in a good and in a more spiritual way, and being helpful to us, even though they're doing all of those things. The good news is, I think it's the good news. The good news is that they are not judging us. Now, this coming Saturday, we're taking 3 hours, a whole 3-hour webinar we're having, where we're going to be talking to the spirit world. This should be really fun because so many of you who are coming, who have bought tickets to the event, you'll be expecting, I don't know what, will you be expecting messages of love, messages of hope, messages of encouragement? That's what we're going to get. I know that that's what we're going to get. There are some of you who might be worried that you're going to get messages of judgment or disappointment, or very often I have people saying to me, I want to know what my mother thinks about what I did for this, this, and this. And we tend to look for approval from our loved ones in the spirit world. And the funny thing is that I always smile at this. We are often looking for approval from our loved ones in the spirit world when we never looked for approval from them when they were here. But on Saturday, we're going to be talking to the spirit world, and we're going to be seeing through the messages and through the connections with those in the spirit world, we're going to be seeing just exactly how much they can see, just exactly how much help and advice they can give us, and just how much they do, in fact, love us and care about us. Enough to make the journey, enough to make the effort, enough to connect with me, with Grey Eagle, so that they can give out their messages of love and hope and, yes, inspiration to all who join in. So we're looking forward to the webinar on Saturday. If you have not yet booked your ticket, go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com, or one word. And you'll see there are places where you can buy tickets. There are places there where you can look at little videos. There are all sorts of things on our website going on. And pretty soon there's going to be something new and also a little bit exciting that we're adding to our webpage. But maybe we'll talk about that in a little while. So Chris, how are we doing? Any comments, any questions, anything going on out there?
Oh, there's always comments and questions, Rosemary. We can never keep up with them, right?
Right.
But it was interesting when I didn't know you were starting down that path for the conversation today, because as you were starting to talk, I was thinking to myself, all right, the spirit world sees all. For the people who have already purchased their tickets, their loved ones know that they purchased their tickets.
Oh, yes.
So they're already lining up and they're getting excited to meet with who's ever signed up, right?
Yes, I mean, we can't give everybody a message, but when we go into a hall, or you go into a hall, whether there are 10 people there or whether there are 10,000 people there, I've given messages in audience of thousands of people, and I've also given messages. I'm not sure if I've given messages sort of in a big hall or a big event for any less than at least a couple of hundred people. But even though people don't get a message, just listening and watching and listening to the quality of the message, and often people in the spirit world, or you'll get a message and you'll think, I might be giving that message to somebody maybe 3 rows behind, or maybe even 10 rows in front or something. But you'll sit there and think, hold on a minute, that's advice. That advice applies to me too. So there's always something, even if you don't get a personal message, there's always something that you can find from it that is helpful and inspirational. And aside from the fact that I personally think it's fascinating watching a good medium, giving messages and connecting with the spirit world. I mean, that part of it to me, oh, wait a minute, I do it though. But you know what I'm saying? Watching it, sort of experiencing it, that part to me is also extremely fascinating and worth watching, I think.
So, Rosemary, we have a number of, let's call them regular attendees on, and there's a few new ones.
Okey-dokey.
The one predominant question so far is, How are you feeling? And that's also coupled with, are you feeling well enough to give messages? Because they don't know what type of questioning we're going to be doing today.
We're going to see this morning how we go, but if if the questions do come up and people want to know certain things, I'll let you know at that time. But please don't be disappointed if we don't give messages today, because you know you can always ask another time. You can always keep going, and there's always Saturday. I'm trying my very best to conserve my energy for Saturday, because 3 hours, a 3 hour solid block of time giving messages from the spirit world and connecting with the spirit world is a lot. As for how am I feeling, every day I say I'm great, and every day I am great, and whether physically or whatever, I am great. I'm always great. But I do thank you all for asking. And let's say I'm am I getting better? I don't know. Yes, I'm fine. I'm really, really fine. And this morning, I tell you what happened to me this morning. Oh my gosh, what happened? And yesterday morning, I slept in Reese's bed the night before. And yesterday morning, my darling boy came and climbed into bed. And I said, "Are you coming to snuggle me in your bed, darling?" And he sort of just snuggled up to me. And, you feel his little bottom wriggling up against you. And he's sort of giggling and can't feel anything but better. So thank you all for your kind wishes and the healing. Keep it coming, by the way. Your kindnesses are really valued by all of us. I know I speak for Chris when I say that too. Okay, Chris, let's go.
Mark says, "Good morning, you beautiful souls and great eagle, and to all who are here listening and watching.
Good
As
morning,
for
Mark.
spirit watching me, sure, why not? They've seen it all anyway."
I suppose that was one way of looking at it, Mark.
And then he said, "Thank you for adding me to the book of healing, sending me that healing last week. I allowed my spirit to receive this tender loving. Healing has many rooms, not only the physical self, but healing in spiritual health and mental health."
Very much so. Well, when we give healing, I think Mark makes a good point. When we give healing, as all good spiritual healers should know and would learn, and certainly I shouldn't talk about anybody else, but my students know absolutely, that first and foremost, before we even think about the physical healing of a patient, we give healing to the soul, to that spiritual self. We try to feed the soul. We try to brighten and enlighten the spirit of the soul. The spirit of the soul is the aura, the energy field that surrounds the soul. So when we're giving healing, we are looking first and foremost to give healing to the soul. Now, if that healing takes place, and when it takes place, I should say, very, very often, then the physical follows, because what happens is, as we give healing to the soul, and the spirit or the aura, the energy field of the soul gets bigger, brighter, more so, it permeates throughout our physical body. And we feel it. We feel that energy permeating throughout our physical body and touching every part of our physical body. And sometimes, very often, that extending of the energy of the soul brings healing, brings comfort, brings help, brings peace, brings calm, and brings tranquility. So as a healer, I would never look at a patient and say, oh, this patient came to me with arthritis, so therefore I'm going to, work on his hands or something, whatever. Or this patient came to me with a tumor on his brain, or this patient came because they have sinus issues. I'm never, ever, first of all, ever going to think, when I put my hands on my patients, I'm never going to go to what they think is the source of the issue. The thing that I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to give healing to the soul. And as the light and the joy and the energy of the soul grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger and becomes fed by that healing energy, then sometimes then I will think to visualize that particular part of a person, and I'll visualize it and use my visualization techniques maybe to try to enhance or to make better or to improve certain parts of a patient's body. But first and foremost, we give healing to the soul. Chris.
Cheryl says, I understand taking our own life is a no-no, but if we are given free choice and someone has cancer or similar disease, what happens if they choose to go to the other side on their own?
Well, you cannot. I'm a great believer, Cheryl, in this, that I do not believe for 1 second that you can pass before it's your time. So if you have made that decision, let's say, and you have made that choice to end your life in that way, if you're not meant to go, it's not going to work. Something will interfere, something will intervene, something will stop it. But if it is your time to go and you have decided that this is the way that you want to go, if it is your time, then it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know, let me, how can I put this? There are many churches who believe that the greatest sin is to take your own life. I do not believe that taking your own life is a sin. I believe that people take their own lives because they are in desperation emotionally. They are, as far as I'm concerned, they have health issues. Whether those health issues are emotional, it could be simply emotional exhaustion. It could be for whatever reason. One of my patients, maybe I shall tell this story one Saturday morning. One of my patients did the most unselfish thing by deciding and then taking his own life. However, as I'm going to say, had it not meant to be, had his life not meant to come to an end in that moment, had it not been his time, then he would have failed. It's like people throw themselves off a bridge thinking to drown themselves, and then they get fished out and go to the hospital and then they survive and so on. I mean, the amount of people who do, for whatever reason, try to take their own lives and don't succeed, it's because it isn't their time to do that. I think that this is a very, very delicate subject. It's a very tricky subject. But I also feel very strongly that I should say that anyone attempting to do this, thinking that it's going to solve all their problems, taking their own life is going to solve all their problems, you really need to think again. Because whatever problems you have are the emotional problems that you're carrying with you, the inability to deal with your life, the desperation that you might feel. Trust me, it isn't going to go away once you go into the spirit world. You still got to face those things. You still have to face the inability that you might have for whatever reason to cope with life in that one moment. So, my feeling is, don't do it because it's not going to solve anything. Go find someone you can talk to. I always turn to the Salvation Army when I'm talking about these things, because the Sally Army is the best ever. They are there for people. They don't judge. They're there with open arms. They help whenever they can. They are an amazing organization. There are other organizations too, I'm sure, who are equally amazing, but the Sally Army is one of those. I adore them. I think they're amazing, amazing people. Chris.
Well, we have a number of our bottom brickers on. Christine saying hello to everyone.
Hi, Christine.
And Bridget's asking, how would someone like me apply to become one of your students of healing? In my work to become a chaplain, I think this would be what I've been searching for after the university graduation.
I think you could be right. Well, we are going to be having more webinars. We've been put back a little bit with the events of this year, but come September, I shall be back home. Chris will be sort of a little bit more settled, hopefully. We are going to be doing more webinars, and we are going to have some definite webinars taking on students. It may be that we do one webinar at the time, or it may be we ask you to sign for 3 webinars, one after the other, so that we can give a more intensive course on healing. What I'm going to suggest to anybody who wants to learn more about healing, who would like to become a healer, you need to go to the YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. You'll find lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of videos there. I don't know how many there are, but there are a lot of them. Healing Hands Around the World, you'll find it under that, or simply healing, just look for that. You'll find I've done so many videos over the years that talk about how you not only can give healing to your own self, but also giving healing to other people. And, so that would be my suggestion for now. And just keep watch this space. This is the space that you're looking at now. Just watch this space, because when we are going to be doing our healing webinars, and I shall be teaching you, encouraging you, helping you, showing you how to raise your level of consciousness, showing you how to develop that ability to visualize, to use creative visualization techniques. We're going to be doing all of those things. So just watch this space and keep checking in with our website so that you'll know what's coming up in the future. Chris.
All right. SP Kaur, Kaur, is asking, has Bell Beer, who it looks like is the father, got any messages for them?
Has what?
Bell Beer, the name of their father.
Okay.
Are there any messages?
Not at this moment in time, no. But keep trying. Don't give up.
Sandra says, hi, love
Hi.
me some Rosemary. Just found your book. I read it in 1995 and I'm going to reread it now. They're from Ohio.
Oh, well, great. Look, it's 25 years. The 25th anniversary this year. We had the whole entire month of May. We were doing so many things in May. I know so many of you have missed us being there all the time for you, but we are going to get back on track. As I've said, we're going to wait until September because it's summer and a lot of you are going away for the holidays, and I'm away, and Chris is, I know you're into boxes, sorting boxes and things, right, Chris? We've got so many things to do, but we will get back on track. And once we're back on track, we'll be doing all sorts of things.
Lori's asking, do you see me returning to work soon for the same company I was working for before all the COVID layoffs?
Well, Laura, I'm sorry, but I'm going to let that one go for now as well. Chris.
All right. Mark. Another one from Irene, who's been trying the last 3 or 4 times looking for a message from her husband.
Hi, Irene. Well, funnily enough, Grey Eagle's hand is on my shoulder, so I know something is coming here. So I think, Irene, this is what I'm being told for you, and I'm not sure that I can tell you that this is a message from your husband, but it's certainly a message from Grey Eagle. I think that you are so focused on trying to see, trying to hear, trying to get something. I think you're so focused that, in fact, what you're doing is, with all of the emotion that you're feeling and all of the desperation that you're feeling, I feel that it's almost as if you've sort of put up a wall, or there's like a blanket between you and what is out there. And I think if you were to try, if you can, to relax a little bit more, to ease your mind a little bit more, to understand that he is there with you, that he will, connect with you at some point. I think he's been trying to connect with you, but I think, as I've said, I think that you are so emotionally desperate to hear from him that, sometimes that acts as a barrier for us. So Gregor's message to you is try and relax a little bit more and just let things flow. There's this great saying, allow the winds of heaven to dance between you and your fate. And Irene, I think that's what you need to do right now. Now, I know that you believe wholeheartedly that your husband is around you. So just allow the winds of heaven to dance between you and your fate. Stop trying to push it. Stop trying to force it. And just try and let it be. And I do believe when you do that, when you're able to do that, you'll be able to see him and to hear him. Chris.
Sharon says, I've been feeling very down the last few weeks, longing for my mom more than ever. I get scared when I think of how much of my journey is left. I just want my mom. She was my partner in everything.
Well, Sharon, I have to tell you that you know perfectly well that she's there with you. So what you need to do now is you need to actually focus on, the fact she is still there with you. So what would she be saying to you right now? She would be wanting you to live your life to the fullest. She wouldn't want you to be worrying about how much time you've got left or how much of your life you've got left, panicking because you didn't do all the things that you wanted, that you thought you wanted to do. What she would be wanting for you, and in fact, even as I'm saying this to you, she's tapping me on the shoulder. You have to take steps forward. You've got to make it happen for yourself. Stop looking back and wishing for the things that you can't have. Your mother is right there with you and you know it. So start and use that information and start and go forward with your life. So many of us, don't we? We get into the trap. We start to think, oh, if only I'd done this, or if only I'd done that. Well, I'm too old now to do so and so and such and such. You can cut that out, Sharon. You're not too old. Life is ahead of you. If you start and take those steps forward and trust in yourself, and if not in yourself, trust in your mother, you'll get there. So I feel that your mother is giving you this quite gentle kick up the bottom, which is what you need. All right? And she does love you very much. Chris.
I wanted to let you know that Kay's on from England.
Hi, Kay.
Mahmood is saying hello, and
Hi.
Susie Mayo is saying buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Mark says Saturday will be a unique day for the webinar. It will be the second anniversary of my brother Bobby's birth into the spirit world.
All right. Okay, then. Well, I'm glad you're joining us, Mark. And for those of you who just joined us, we're just talking about our webinar, which is coming up on Saturday morning. 3 hours, a whole 3 hours of talking to the spirit world. Just let me say that I should be a bit exhausted afterwards, but I'm going to have fun. I hope you're all going to have fun. We're going to be talking to the spirit world and giving messages from the spirit world. So that's what we're doing on Saturday. For those of you who are saying, what, wait, a webinar? When? How? Go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com, and you will see on the website, you will see the way to get your tickets. So I'm suggesting that you do that. And we're going to be trying to do something like that on a fairly regular basis so that, these shows, we love doing these shows and, and we don't charge for these shows, as you all know, and we love doing it. But when people ask for messages on these shows, unfortunately what happens is because they take a little bit more time, a little bit longer time, it tends to take away from some of the people and some of the questions that we have. So if you want a message from the loved one in the spirit world, you need to be checking out other means and other ways. And our webinar on Saturday morning might just be the thing for you. Chris.
Yeah, and so I'll say that August 21st is the next one. If you cannot make July 24th, just save the date now for August 21st. We have one person on, Wendy, who's a first timer, who said, darn it, I can't make it because I'm working on Saturday. Wendy's also hoping for a message. She had a son pass in June due to a drug overdose. So it was sudden and unexpected.
Wendy, I'm so very, very sorry for your loss. Okay, as you heard from Chris, we'll be doing another one in August the 21st. Did you say, Chris?
Yes.
2121, August the
Yes.
21st. And, we're going to be doing them on a fairly regular basis because I know how very much people do want messages from their loved ones in the spirit world. We try to keep the prices as low as we possibly can. And we also try to keep the numbers fairly low so that more people have a chance of receiving messages. So we do try to do our best to accommodate everybody. So who was it who just said, darn it, I can't make Saturday? Who was
Wendy.
that? Wendy. So Wendy, darn it, you can't make this Saturday, but maybe in August you can make August. So check it out and save the date. So we're doing one this Saturday, and then we're doing one on the 21st of August also. Chris.
Karen saying, hello, Rosemary, Chris, and Gray Eagle. I can't wait for Saturday.
Who's saying this?
This is Karen.
Oh, hi, Karen. I can't wait for Saturday either. I'm so excited.
We have a number of Karens, so this is Karen Young.
Okay.
Shamanth is asking, is there any message from my departed brother-in-law, Nagesh?
No, not right at this moment in time, but don't stop trying. This is what I'm saying. And again, I'm going to say that, when we give messages from the spirit world, I could sit here, I could easily say, oh yes, this person says this to you and that person says that to you. And I could do all of that stuff and you'd think I was great for a short amount of time until you realize that I actually hadn't said anything to you at all that was really worth anything. To connect with the spirit world and to give messages from the spirit world can sometimes take a little while. And when we do these shows, we try to answer everybody's question. No, we're not just here for people who want to connect with the spirit world. So this is why we're doing our webinars, because we're making time and we're making space. And as I've said, on Saturday morning, 3 hours, we're spending 3 hours. We're going to give as many messages as we possibly can in those 3 hours. That's all we will be doing, just giving message after message after message from the spirit world. So that webinar is on Saturday. And then if you can't make this Saturday, well, book your ticket for the 21st of August, but book them soon, because these things do get booked up. They do get, we as I've said, we do try to make the events as small as we can so that we can give as many people as we can an opportunity to receive a message. Chris.
Carolyn's saying, how does it work? Do people ask for messages during the webinar?
How does it work? Oh, golly, Carolyn. Well, it's interesting. Yes, we do take questions from people. Somebody might actually say, I'd like to connect with my mother or my brother or my sister, whatever. So some people do it that way. But the intriguing thing is that very often Grey Eagle will bring someone forward from the spirit world, and I won't, because I don't really see any of you, and I won't even know whether it's up to Grey Eagle. He'll know if you're attending, and he'll know if there's someone in the spirit world who connects with you. So we do it all sorts of different ways, and the only way I can tell you, Carolyn, to check it out is to come and be a part of it. And it's a lot of fun. It's intriguing. It's fascinating, I personally think, and we're going to love every minute of it. Chris.
Betta's saying, I would like to ask you if you could see my husband improving his job. We have been making huge sacrifices for 2 years. I wonder if good news will arrive sooner or later. I'm worried about this.
I think it's going to be a little bit later than you think, Betta. But again, I'm not going to go into this too much right now. Chris.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
I just would like to point out, and I do understand where Betty's coming from. I do understand better why you've asked that question. But remember, to me, whatever question you ask, I'm connecting with Grey Eagle. And so I'm asking Grey Eagle for the answers here. It's not just something that's coming glibly off of my tongue and something that maybe I think or I feel. I'm always connecting with Grey Eagle and always looking for his help and guidance when I'm answering the questions that you all have for me. Chris.
Barb saying, good morning, all. I wondered, as a spirit, if you could be in more than one place at a time.
Well, now then, are we talking about being a spirit in the spirit world, or being a spiritual being here on this earth? Because we know that we can only be in one place at a time. Although sometimes our kids think that we can be in more than one place at a time, don't we? Time is the thing. That is the crux of the question here. Time in the spirit world is of a very, very different essence than time as we know it here on this earth. So what might seem to us, for instance, we could have a sister who calls and says, I spoke to Dad at 10 o'clock last night. And you say, oh, that's so funny because I spoke to Dad at 10 o'clock last night. And you can be at other ends of the world and you can think, well, how could he get there and there? Well, that is possible because time is very different, and moving through time and space is something that is, sort of amazing and can be done easily. So that, our time is in so many ways slower, and yet even quicker. Oh golly, too hard to understand, too hard to explain right now. But so yes, it would seem that people in the spirit world can be in two places at the same time, but their idea of time is very different than ours. So they don't necessarily feel that they're in two different places at the same time, just moving so fast that it seems as if they are. Chris.
Misty is on for the first time saying, hello, good morning. I'm new here. I'm not sure how all this works. Can I ask if you have a message from any of my past loved ones, my mom, grandmother, grandfather, or my son?
Okay, well, Misty, I'm so sorry to disappoint this time around. And people do ask for messages, and we do give messages sometimes. But we were just talking about this just a few minutes ago. And if you want to join in our webinar on Saturday, I'm not sure if there are tickets left or not. But anyway, go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com, and other than that, just keep trying. I don't mind you asking, as long as you don't mind me saying not right now. Everybody who's here regularly knows that I'm not 100%, but I'm also trying to conserve my energy for Saturday as well. Chris.
A whole bunch of people in their own ways are saying hello to you. They're glad to see that you're looking well and feeling better. And good morning, and they're saying from the different places they're in, such as Marlene from Maine, Junior from Glasgow.
Hi, Junior.
Let's see. Alyssa is asking, are there any messages for me from my Nona? Her name was Tina.
And so we're moving forward from that, my darlings. I'm not doing any messages. Please forgive me. I know you're disappointed in me. Here's the thing. When people look at you and they think that and I know you all think that I'm wonderful and amazing and all the rest of it. Really, it isn't me, is it? It's the gift. The gift is what is wonderful and what is amazing, what is fantastic, and so on and so forth. But when people tell you how wonderful you are, they put you up on that pedestal. It is so easy to fall off. And every time I say no, I know that I'm toppling off of my pedestal yet once again. Just a reminder, I'm not the one who put myself on the pedestal. You're all the ones who put me on the pedestal. So if I fall off that pedestal, I'm so sorry. But there it is. We are not doing messages today. Chris.
That reminds me, on your YouTube with Randy, there was a comment this past week where the person said, hey, you can tell us that there were two rose bushes, but you can't tell us that you cannot confirm that it's actually her father coming through, I think was the comment. And,
Well, I
maybe
actually did know that it was a father coming through, and I think if you watch it again, you'll see that I did say this may well be your father, and I gave enough evidence that she knew that it was a father, which is enough. So, again, don't put me on the pedestal and don't say what I can't do because I'm not interested. Yes, wasn't that amazing? When somebody said there's one rose bush and her father, we all knew it was her father, come on, stop being picky, said, no, there are two rose bushes. That was an amazing, amazing thing, I thought. Well, if you don't think it works for me, I don't care. Chris?
I thought after watching the show, like, you are under the direction of someone who has a show, literally entertainment, who only gives you moments at a clip. You have a person on the telephone, so you can't see them, you can't hear them, you have no idea. I mean, they're not right there in front of you. You're passing a message from one of their relatives, giving evidence in these short moments. From my perspective, I'm not sure how people can think, if they were having a conversation with someone on the phone and somebody was talking in the room with them and somebody had a stopwatch out to say, you've got 10 seconds to answer this call and get it all together. Like, how could anyone imagine the pressures on you when you're on television?
Well, I don't care, Chris. If people don't believe, they don't believe. I don't care. So you all get to choose. You can believe or not believe. Here's the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me is that I believe. And I'm not in the business of convincing anybody. And I'm not in the business of giving proof to anybody. I don't care if you don't believe. Just don't join the show. Go away. Just go find something else. Go find somebody else to criticize. I don't care. You're making no difference to me because my beliefs, my understanding is firm and absolutely sure. So, all right. And Chris, as much as I love you, you don't have to justify anything for me. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Moving on.
Kara is asking, can you tell me about your best experience with spirit?
Oh, Kira, I'd love to. But there's so many of them, I wouldn't know where to begin. Where would I begin? I don't know. My best experience probably is right at this moment in time. I'm having one of the best experiences. Yes, I'll give you an example, but it isn't the best. It's just one of the best experiences is when I met for the very first time my earth angel Tomas. Oh my gosh, just to discover that there's an earth angel, just to discover that that earth angel can travel all the way from Uruguay and come and stand in my room when this beautiful angel is in his earthly form, a boy trapped in his body, completely and utterly paralyzed within his body. And here he is standing in my living room with this incredibly bright and beautiful light around him. I mean, talk about inspiration. I mean, I'm so fortunate that I get to have these inspirational moments. And he was so beautiful and so incredible. And when he said to me, I'm an earth angel, it was like opening up a whole other aspect, looking at a whole other facet of what we do. There are earth angels, I'm thinking. There really are earth angels. And then I realized all of the earth angels that I'd seen over the many years that I've been doing this. And it was really, truly amazing. Chris.
Elizabetta is coming right on your comments saying, I'm curious about what an angel looks like. Can you describe it?
Well, okay, golly, Elizabetta. an angel can be, let me see, can be that smelly old man sitting on the bus next to you that you just want to move away from. An angel can be that snot-nosed kid playing in the street, that, you know, barefoot and ragged pants and dirty face. An angel can be a woman who comes into a spiritualist church totally drunk or seemingly totally drunk. And you've all heard that story. Maybe I'll tell that story again on a Saturday morning show. The most amazing angel who looked into my eyes. And she was a very attractive older woman, but she looked into my eyes and she looked straight at me and she said, "They've sent me. They've sent me from America to come and look at you, to take a look at you." So an angel can be that unexpected, that drunken woman who everybody's tutting at and shushing and trying to keep quiet, who walks into a spiritualist church unexpectedly. Or an angel can be a being so filled with light that you can barely look at them because the light is so bright it hurts your eyes. And you can barely see through the light to see them because the light is so bright. An angel can be that ordinary woman who stands in my living room, in my little study, should I say, who turns around and around, and as she turns around, for the first time I noticed that she has wings on her back. An ordinary woman, small, short, plump, and as she turns around, I see the wings, and I'm stunned, because she just looks like an ordinary woman to me. And I'm thinking that maybe she's an aunt or a grandmother or somebody from the spirit world who's come to talk to the lady on the phone from America that I'm having a conversation with while I'm sitting in my home in England. Golly, angels come in very, very different forms, different shapes, different sizes. And then, of course, there's the glory, the absolute glory and wonder and beauty of that host of angels who will sometimes come and fill a room with so much light and so much brightness you can barely see because they are so blinding in their beauty, with wings and halos and all the stuff you could imagine. So our angels will come in many forms and many shapes, all beautiful, all amazing. Does that answer the question, Chris? I think it does, doesn't it?
Oh, of course, it brings up many more. Marlene's asking, can an animal be an angel?
Oh, well, I know my boys and girls are definitely my angels, my Nino. I've never actually seen, and I've never seen an animal or spoken to an animal who has, who Grail has told me has come in the form of an, or is an angel or an earth angel. So that's a question. Maybe I shall ask him. And maybe I'll go and ask that question later on. As far as I'm aware, not in, angels are very different from our guides, and they're very different from our loved ones. Angels are those beings, those beautiful, incredible beings who are the messengers of God, purely and simply working for God. So, wow. We know our puppies and our kittens work through that too, don't we? I mean, don't we love them anyway? Chris?
Kara's asking, what do we need to hear better or to help us grow spiritually?
What we need is we need to pay attention. We need to give it time. We need to stop wishing that we could hear and just sit quietly and start to listen. We need to stop wishing and hoping and wondering. We need to stop telling ourselves we can't do it. It's not happening. We can't. Somebody else might be able to do it, but I can't, because we all of us can. And we all of us are capable of raising our level of consciousness. And as I said earlier on, we will at some point be doing webinars where I'll be helping people to understand and to help them to raise their level of consciousness, to know what it is that they're supposed to be doing, so that we can become more and more and more in tune with the spirit world and with our loved ones in the spirit world.
Rosemary, we have 5 minutes left. Did you want to talk about what might be upcoming?
Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot. Okay, right now then. So, most of you know that I have a daughter and that I have a grandson. My daughter Samantha has her own special gifts and her own special way of doing things. She's extraordinarily insightful, has had, I'm not going to say that she's a therapist because she's much more than a therapist. Certainly from my point of view, she knows about relationships. She has people coming to her from every corner to seek out her help and advice. And I've been trying to get her to use this gift and to use this talent with me for such a considerable amount of time over the many years. And yay! finally, she has agreed to do a few little things for us. And so you'll be seeing over the next few weeks, she'll be taking clients from time to time. And her forte is sort of life advice, life help, guidance. Um, I'm not sure she'll appreciate me saying this, but I feel that she's especially good with couples and in couples therapy. Again, I don't want to use the word therapy because it's not quite right, because it's much more. What she does is much, much more. But you'll be seeing her name popping up from time to time, and you'll be seeing her doing interviews with us because she has finally agreed. I'm not sure how long it will last. I'm not sure how long she'll like to do it, because she's always tried to be her own person and do her own thing and do things on her own, and not infringe or encroach on the stuff that I do. She wants to be her own person, and I really respect her for that. However, she has agreed to, from time to time, do some things for us. We're going to be, and you'll see it in the newsletter that we send out. In if you're not subscribed, you won't get the newsletter. So subscribe. Go to the website Rosemary Altea and subscribe, or subscribe here. It doesn't cost you anything. I promise you we won't inundate you with stuff, but we do send out a newsletter once a month. And you'll see that Samantha's going to have her own column with certain questions, not connected with speaking with those in the spirit world, but using her intuition, her intuitive sense of things. Samantha is able to see, and she is able to connect with the spirit world in her way, and especially with my father, who was also a very wise, very, very wise man. So she has a lot of insight. So we're going to be, she's agreed to do one or two things for us. You should be excited because she's an amazing young woman. So we're going to be putting that up. So if you see Samantha's name up there, Samantha Altea, and you're thinking, what's going on here? I'm sort of giving you a heads up to pay attention and to just watch for that. Chris, do you have anything to say about that?
Well, what people may not realize is Samantha has been in the background for, obviously, I know for the past 20 something years that I've been with you, she's always been in the background helping you with the website and chat rooms and things like that. But I do know that she has a lot of people that come to her, and she gives great advice. And I think it's going to be a fabulous addition to this team.
Well, when you think she's had a lifetime of training, the poor kid has had to live with me, dealing with all of those people that I've dealt with, invading her house, and even as a child, she was very involved in the work that we were doing. She's very involved in many of the sessions we had from the very beginning. So it's sort of as if, she was spoon-fed this from being a baby. So she has all of this knowledge and all of this, which has helped her in the work that she does, and it's helped her with, helping as many people as she has over the years with the sessions that she does with people. And she has, as I've said, she has great insight. So we're going to be adding her to our team. As I've said, I don't know for how long. I hope forever. I hope that maybe after I'm gone, she and Reese can take over where I left off, because Reese already is showing that he has an amazing gift of connecting with the spirit world. When I wasn't well the other day, he just came into, I was sort of resting on the bed, and he came into me, and he said, he stood by the bed, and he held my hands, he said, Mosey, are you feeling a little bit better? And I said, yes, darling. I'm never going to tell him if I'm not. Yes, darling, I am feeling a little bit better. He said, well, that's good, because I just sent you some healing a little while ago. So he's already into it and knowing what he's doing. So it's becoming a family thing. So we're really looking forward to that. We're really, really looking forward to adding Samantha to our team. Anything else to say, Chris?
Well, we will not be doing the Saturday's story time, because we will be doing the webinar during that same time frame.
We might get in an off the cuff tomorrow, though. I know I keep promising, but that is the way it is. But we will be, we might be able to manage an off the cuff tomorrow. Chris, what do you think?
I'm up for it, Rosemary.
Pardon?
I am up for it.
Oh, good, good. So, we're really looking forward to Saturday. And if I can just say to you all, next Thursday we will be back here again. We might be doing an off the cuff, and we might be able to drag Samantha in there. Wouldn't you like to see Samantha? Wouldn't you like to see my daughter? To make a comment, give us a little smiley face or something, if that's a yes from you. We might be we might be doing all sorts of things. We'll definitely be back with story time, not this coming Saturday, the Saturday after, but we should be still doing our off the cuffs, and we'll be doing our Thursday, The Spirit World Sees All. Do we have any more comments or any last minute comments or questions coming in, Chris?
Well, Karen did say, I'm interested in your daughter's therapy session.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. Good.
And Kay's saying that's really exciting development. Looking forward to hearing more from Sam.
Oh,
Kira's saying, yes, bring in Samantha. Mark's saying, yes to Samantha. I love that girl. So, yeah. Good things are coming.
Yeah. Well, yes, we're really looking forward to it. And Chris, I can tell you now, right? When we were talking about this the other day, and she finally agreed, Chris was actually on the well, we FaceTime or something.
Yeah.
We were on camera together, and Samantha was there, and I've sort of not pushed this. I've not wanted to force her to do it, but I have been encouraging her for years to tell her that we'd love to have her on our team. And finally, yesterday, she agreed. And as I'm listening to Samantha and Chris, and they're talking about how it could work and what we could do with it and so on, I was able to see, first of all, Chris, I was able to see Mike. And standing next to Mike was my daddy. And
awesome.
I suddenly, as Samantha's talking and we're all talking, at the corner of my eye, I saw Mike and I saw my daddy, and of course, Grey Eagle. And they were all jumping, leaping for joy, saying, finally, she's finally agreed to be a part of this. It's taken a lot of years for her to agree. Yay, everyone in the spirit world is excited about it too. So, and Mike especially wants to encourage her to do this. And blowing kisses to you again, Chris.
Well, that explains the tears forming in your eyes yesterday, because I knew something special was happening.
I know, I did get a bit emotional, it's true. Trying not to, though. Any other comments, Chris? Anything else going on?
Carol saying, yes, I'd love to meet Samantha. Bob saying, thanks, Rosemary and Chris. Hugs to you both from Orlando. Kay's looking forward to Saturday too. Eric saying, Samantha, yes. Sharon saying yes to Samantha Altea, and oh, this is great. Sam will like this. You know how we do the hashtag Rosemary Altea when people do your comments? Now they're putting in hashtag Samantha Altea. That's great.
Oh boy, it started already. All right, well, Samantha's going to be putting a bio up there. So if you are not subscribed and you want to read the newsletter and you want to read about Samantha and what we're planning, you need to subscribe, because our newsletter goes out usually around the first week of the month, right, Chris?
Exactly.
So she's going to be doing her blurb, sorting out what she's going to say to you all. And yes, we're excited. We're very, very excited about it. Okay, so that's it. I'm just going to say hi again to the bottom brickers. It's not fair I'm saying hi to them, but we would like to hear from them again at some point. And we also, if you would like to volunteer as a bottom bricker, email us, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. Actually, better still, email us at Chris, K-R-I-S, at rosemaryaltea.com. Again, if you want to know more about the webinar and you want to get in quickly to book your tickets, go to our website, rosemaryaltea.com. In the meantime, until I see you all again, I'm excited for Saturday. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll be doing some off the cuff, probably tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. Yes, we're all raring to go, right, Chris? So I'd like to say thank you, Chris, for everything you do. I'd like to say thank you to Great Eagle, especially, and I'd like to say thank you to all of you out there who are supporting us, who are working with us, who join us and enjoy what we're doing. Please, if you want to know more about healing or anything else, again, go to our website and there'll be links there to YouTube. There'll be links there for you to find and to follow for any part of any subject that you might like to be interested in knowing more about. So I think that's it. So please, everybody, thank you once again. Please have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Have a very blessed weekend, everybody.